Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gail Carson, your host for Women in Business, a show that celebrates women and their accomplishments as entrepreneurs or senior managers. As a woman business owner for over 5 decades, I take great pride in bringing these interviews to you. My guests today are 2 wonderful women, Amy Ostigny and Colleen Wietmarschen, and both of them make up the Strategic Connectors. Now, I had the opportunity of meeting Amy at the eWomen conference in Dallas and thought she was a very interesting and exciting person who has a lot of irons in the fire, and her partner is Colleen. So let me just tell you that Amy is one of the select few certified professional senior marketers in the greater Cincinnati tri-state area and has over 20 years of marketing and public relations experience. Colleen opened for business in 1996 and within 3 years was managing a multiple 6-figure business with a team of 11 subcontractors. So both of these women are powerhouses and are very, very interesting, and hopefully you'll get a lot out of the interview with them today. How are you both?
Great, thanks.
Good, fantastic. I don't know who I'll be talking to when, so you'll have to identify yourselves. But I guess the first question I have for you is, how does your business serve women in business? What exactly do you guys do?
So, hi, this is Amy, and what Colleen and I do is we help women in business spread the word about their businesses through PR, social media, and marketing. And how we do that is we get them TV interviews, we get them published in print media, magazines, newspapers, and we also get them radio spots. And so far to date, we can say we are pitch perfect. We are batting 1,000 batting average on getting every client either a TV interview, radio spot, or in the news. And that helps them to reach larger audience, which in turn gives them results to get new customers.
That's fabulous. You know, I know that you're on top of everything, and you say it's very important for women in business to have a media kit. And yet I think there are plenty of women who don't even know what a media kit consists of. So, and that's changed in the last several years because most people today don't have to have a black and white printed media kit as much as they have to have something online that people can have access to. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why it's so important for them to have a media kit?
Dr. Carson, this is Colleen, and a media kit is very important because it's like a digital resume for the media. When a media calls back and says, we want to have so-and-so on TV, or we want to put their information in the newspaper, a lot of times what they'll ask for is the media kit. And the media kit is, it consists of the person's bio about themselves, a recent photo of themselves, an updated picture of themselves, and any information that would help with that particular story. So if they have pictures from an event that they're putting on, they want to put those in the media kit, and any testimonials they might have that pertain to that particular event. So the media kit is important because it gives the reporter or the news person information without having to dig around to get a lot more information. It helps them get the information, and the person being interviewed is ready for that interview.
Fabulous. Well, you know, you mentioned something about an editorial calendar, and I know what an editorial calendar is, but most people don't. And it's usually, you know, an editorial calendar is when they are going to publish something and how long ahead you have to get that in and what the theme is for that particular issue or month or whatever. But it's, I think many people who don't understand the length of time that it takes for an editorial calendar to get from, yes, I'm writing it, yes, I'm submitting it, yes, it's accepted, to yes, it's published. So tell us a little bit about an editorial calendar and why it's also important for them to have that.
This is Amy, and what we find a lot of women in business need is an editorial calendar, and how we describe it is in your business, you should have 8 stories a year planned in your calendar of what you want to share and get out in the media. For an example, one of those 8 stories could be a simple as a contract awarded. So you've been awarded a large new contract with a client. That would be considered one of those 8 stories a year you want to share. Another example of one of the 8 stories could be a new hire, somebody that's come on as an expert on your staff or team. That could be part of your editorial calendar. Another example of a good one of the 8 stories we say that you need a year is like celebrating a special anniversary in your business. You're celebrating maybe 15 years in business. That could be a story idea for your editorial calendar. Another story could be why you launched your business and what it's doing to serve customers. But we find that a lot of women in business have not figured out that they even have a story. So what we do in our line of work is we help women business owners pull out those 8 stories that they have and realize how it can benefit the viewers or listeners or readers based on their business.
You know, that's a great idea. I had a whole different image of an editorial calendar because I'm used to writing for actual publications. And so I'm thinking of, yes, it's let's just use a Cosmopolitan magazine. And they have an editorial calendar, and they will have, let's say, for the May issue, it's out sometime in, they have it all published, but in August and September and October, they're already planning for May. So that's kind of editorial calendar I was thinking of. But your editorial calendar of having 8 stories ready to go for the press or for PR or for a press release or however you're going to do it, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great idea. And what it does, too, I think, is get the business owner thinking. I mean, it gets her out of her own space and gets her thinking, what are we doing? What is newsworthy about us? You know, why should anybody pay attention to us? So all of that is fantastic. And then you also suggest having a 30-day social media calendar. And even though a lot of people understand what social media is and they know what it means to be present in social media, nobody really understands the best way to use it for effective business getting. So what's your viewpoint on that?
Hi, Dr. Carson. This is Colleen again. And the importance of a 30-day social media calendar to get that in place is that it builds consistency for your brand. It puts you out there no matter what platforms you're on, if it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. What you want to do is have that social media calendar ready for the month so that you are not having to post every day. You can schedule those in Hootsuite to make it go automatically. But what it does is it makes consistency for your brand with an online presence. And a lot of times we suggest doing a themed like week or month for your social media calendar, and that makes it a lot easier. For example, on a lot of my postings that I've done, I'll do like Marketing Monday, and I'll give a marketing tip on Monday. On Tuesday, I'll do a grammar tips. Wednesdays, I do something called Wednesday Words. And I do a lot with homophones where people get mixed up with there, and there, your and your, our and our, that kind of thing. And then Thursdays, I do just a social media tip, what's new in social media, how you can, what's changed on Facebook or Twitter, those kind of tips. And then Fridays, I'll do it like a fun bit, like a fun posting for Friday. But it's about engaging with your community and building that relationship of trust. You don't always want to be selling on social media. You want to gain that trust so that your followers will come to you when they need something. And the 30-day social media calendar helps you not repeat yourself a lot. You know, if you do something one month, you want to try and make sure you don't repeat it the next week or the next month. So it gives you consistency on knowing what you're doing. And we also use for quotes. It's fun to put quotes on social media. We use Tumblr or Pinterest quotes. And we want to suggest to people, when you use images, you don't want to copy someone's images because that can be like a copyright problem. So I use 1, 2, 3 rf.com a lot, and you can buy points to purchase those images, and then you're not going to run into a problem with copyright laws. So that helps with your social media postings, because you want to have images sometimes to make it fun and not just words.
You know, the comment that I always hear from the women that I know is, how do you really know what's working and what isn't? You know, it's you can be on social media, you can even schedule it all in Hootsuite, and you don't know if it's really having any real effect or not. And do people really get business from social media? That's always a question that I get, and I of course am not the expert in social media, so I don't really know. Do you have an opinion on that?
Really, social media can drive revenue because it's about building that community first. You want to build community and relationships, and then by building those community and relationships, eventually you can get business because people will trust you. And you can also build revenue from social media. For example, in Facebook, if you have products to sell, books to sell, or programs to sell, you can use something called Shopify or have a storefront on there so that people can directly buy from your Facebook page. And that brings revenue to the client. And also, when you do Facebook, for example, there's something called Facebook parties where you can grow your list. And there are some very respected Facebook parties out there to grow your list. But also on Facebook or in your website, you want to have something. If you have your email marketing newsletter, you want to have a join my mailing list tab on your Facebook page so that people will join your list, and that builds your list also. And with Hootsuite, one other thing I want to say about that, it is automatic postings, but even though you're doing something in Hootsuite or Social Oomph as a automatic delivery of your messages, you still want to have live engagement on your platforms, because live engagement is very important too.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think every now and then you really have to be there, you know, in person to answer some of these things. Well, you know, I'm a kind of like a marketing junkie, and I teach marketing, and I consider myself not an expert in it, but a very interested person in marketing. I practice it every day. And you say that it's important to have a 30, 60, and 90-day marketing plan. And I totally believe that. In fact, some of my peers even suggest having a 12-month marketing plan and then break it down into the quarters and then the months and then the what are you going to do every day kind of thing. So what is your take on having this 30, 60, 90-day marketing plan?
This is Amy, Dr. Carson. I was the president of the Society for Marketing Professionals for 2 years. It's a national organization, and my background is 16 years of owning my own marketing company. And you really need a marketing plan in order to have a roadmap to success. And in the 30 days, it really consists of identifying your ideal client, how many calls you need to make, how many appointments you need to make. We also suggest that every business should be considered as a speaker. And if you're a speaker, either speak for things like chambers of commerce on your expertise or speaking engagements. And also we suggest in your 60-day plan to map out having your own event and creating your own event around your area of expertise. A lot of people don't even think to create their own conferences or their own workshops in their 30, 60-day and 90-day plan. So events, speaking engagements, sales calls, getting your marketing brand, your logos, your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter,